Welcome back, my friends. I am SlimmDa KID. Thank you for tuning into this brand new episode of Round 2 Wrestling here on the 13th of September, 2022. Plenty of news to talk about as we have new things regarding the fallout from All Out and CM Punk and Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks and what is going on with AEW. Lots of rumors to mull over, plus a brand new Did You Know? Did You Know is little bits of information and facts about the wrestling world that you may or may not have known about. But we here on Round 2 Wrestling like to kick things off by taking a listen to the rumor mill. There's a growing rumor pieced together from multiple outlets like Fightful and The Observer that CM Punk may be fired by AEW soon. Thunder Rosa's husband and Sean Ross Sapp's AEW sources all refuted a report that Thunder Rosa asked AEW to release her from her contract. While we are on the subject of contracts, it is also rumored that Malachi Black has been released from AEW regarding personal issues and mental health issues. The rumor is he is not allowed to sign with any other promotion, specifically WWE, for a specified amount of time. However, that amount of time was never verified, nor was this particular rumor verified. But it is something to think about with the Thunder Rosa situation and her possibly asking for her release from AEW. WWE promoted Shawn Michaels to Senior Vice President of Talent Development Creative, according to CBS Sports. The Wrestling Online Network mentions that Drew McIntyre didn't know the show was still being broadcast, quote-unquote, during his post-match interaction with Tyson Fury at Clash at the Castle. To once again add to this particular rumor, it is rumored that after the lights went out, quote-unquote, McIntyre was in the ring with the boxing champion and was either dancing or jiving or doing something of that nature. However, I have not been able to verify this specific rumor or see any video of this particular incident. So it is, again, something very interesting to think about if it is, in fact, true. That's sort of an embarrassment for WWE, but at the same time, not really, because you were caught in the ring with the best boxing person in the world. That's really not something to be ashamed about. Toxic Attraction appeared on SmackDown this past week, but they have not been called up to the main roster, claims Ringside News. A PW Insider report on morale at WWE corporate headquarters in Stamford, Connecticut notes that employees are, quote, energized, end quote, after Vince McMahon's resignation and feel much better about their work-life balance under new leadership. Certainly some interesting rumors to think about, and whether or not those come to be true has yet to be seen. Remember, those were all just rumors and need to be taken with a grain of salt. However, this is something a bit more factual. This is professional wrestling news. BTE, or Being the Elite, is on hiatus and there will be no show this week. The announcement was made on the official BTE social media account. The belief is that everyone that was involved in the backstage fight after AEW's pay-per-view All Out has been told to lay low until the investigation is completed, and this includes BTE. AEW has suspended Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, Pat Buck, Christopher Daniels, Michael Nakazawa, and Brandon Cutler following the backstage fight involving CM Punk and Ace Steel at AEW's pay-per-view All Out. While speaking on Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer noted that the Elite have been pulled from advertising for several upcoming AEW events, including Full Gear, which takes place on November 19th. PW Insider is reporting that D'Lo Brown has exited Impact Wrestling. Brown was working behind the scenes as a producer, and he appeared on camera occasionally. No word on what his plans are in the wrestling business following this hiatus. Wrestler slash YouTuber Devin Nicholson is set to stand trial on October 12th in Kingston, Ontario, Canada, on charges of assaulting a woman last month. Nicholson was released on bail and released under the supervision of his parents. Nicholson addressed the charges in a new video posted on his YouTube channel. He also alleged that the girlfriend assaulted him and shared various photos of himself after the attacks. He claimed she is also facing 5 charges for the alleged attacks. According to PW Insider, the former Ring of Honor World Champion and current reigning Ring of Honor 6-man tag champion Dalton Castle is not under contract with Tony Khan and is free to sign with whichever promotion he would like. Castle did wrestle at both Ring of Honor Supercard of Honor and Ring of Honor's Death Before Dishonor, the 2 Ring of Honor pay-per-views earlier this year in 2022. All right, also, just like the rumors, plenty of news to think about and to discuss with your fellow wrestleheads. A lot of titles were surprisingly on the line this past week and weekend, and we have the results from every single one of those title matches, who won and who retained, and what titles were on the line. We are going to jump right into that right now. Damage Control defeated Raw Women's Tag Team Champions Raquel Rodriguez and Aaliyah to become the new Raw Women's Tag Team Champions. Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair defeated Sonya Deville to retain the Raw Women's Championship. Both of these matches took place on Monday Night Raw. AEW World Trios Championship, we had a rematch after the Elite were stripped of their Trios titles. Death Triangle defeated the Best Friends to win the Trios titles and become AEW champions. TNT Champion Wardlow defeated Tony Nese to retain the TNT title. Daniel Garcia defeated Ring of Honor Pure Champion Wheeler Yuta to become the new Ring of Honor Pure Champion. Ring of Honor World Champion Claudio Castagnoli defeated Dax Harwood to retain the Ring of Honor World Championship. Impact Digital Media Champion Brian Myers defeated, I'm going to slaughter this, Bufinger Gujar to retain the Impact Digital Championship. New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong Openweight Tag Team Champions Aussie Open defeated the West Coast Wrecking Crew to retain the NJPW Strong Openweight Tag Team titles. NWA World Women's Champion Camille defeated Allison Kay via a time limit draw to retain the NWA Women's Championship. Look for a rematch between those two in the upcoming future. That is a prediction of mine. NWA Junior Heavyweight Champion Homicide defeated Eric Jackson to retain the NWA Junior Heavyweight Championship. Alright, a lot of results. Be sure to listen to this particular episode of Round 2 Wrestling again, just in case you missed your favorite title match and who won and who lost. We have those results here on Round 2 Wrestling. Alright, we are going to conclude our show with a fan favorite. Did you know are little pieces of information and facts about the wrestling world that you may or may not have known about. Did you know legendary baseball player and Hall of Famer Jackie Robinson applied for and received a professional wrestling referee's license from the California Athletic Commission in 1947? Did you know the Rock and Roll Express's official fan club used to generate $100,000 a week in its heyday? Did you know Chris Warren, the singer of DX's theme song Break It Down, also performed music for TNA Wrestling back in 2007-2008. Warren passed away suddenly in 2016 at the age of 49. Did you know ODB and Eric Young were the very last TNA Knockout Tag Team Champions? Did you know for nearly 50 years Stu Hart had owned and wrestled for Calgary Stampede Wrestling? In all that time as both promoter and wrestler, Stu Hart never put the promotion's top title on himself. This is very, very against the grain. If you go back and look at wrestling territories back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, almost every single promoter and owner of one of those territories put the belt on himself. That is truly amazing that Stu Hart, out of everyone, didn't do that. And I have to applaud him and his decision all those years ago. Did you know Shawn Michaels was the very first opponent of Bret Hart when he became WWF champion, and the very last opponent of Bret Hart as his reign as WWF champion came to an end? Did you know pro wrestling journeyman Christopher Daniels has worked for WWF, WCW, ECW, TNA, Ring of Honor, New Japan, AAA, and All Elite Wrestling? Did you know Sean Val Venus Morley was the youngest and first non-Mexican wrestler to ever win the CMLL heavyweight title? Did you know Seth Rollins is the only wrestler to win the FCW heavyweight, NXT heavyweight, WWE heavyweight, and WWE Universal Championships? All top titles are both the main roster and developmental's top titles. All right, that is the conclusion of Round 2 Wrestling. I am SlimmDa KID, and I personally want to thank you for tuning into this podcast. Be sure to tune in every Tuesday as we bring you more news, more rumors, and more results from the world of professional wrestling. Round 2 Wrestling is brought to you by SlimmDa KID and Spreaker.com.